So it goes, my current state is the following, and my state is that whenever I think about benefiting from another scholar in regards to the deen, I do not wish to benefit from him. And I feel that whatever it is whatever benefit that I'm getting from you is what I need. And the matter of even benefiting or becoming the recipient of some benefit, of some fairness benefit from another person is, I dislike that. I dislike the idea, into the sense that I dislike the idea in a similar fashion that I dislike shirk and I dislike kufr. So he writes his state to his teacher, and the teacher answers. If a person is in this state because of his excessive respect and love that he has for his teacher, then he is ma'zur. Ma'zur means that he's incapable of doing anything. He's incapacitated because of the love that he has for his teacher. He doesn't wish that another person, he go and benefit from another person. If he's in that condition because of the love that he has, then he's ma'zur. But he goes, what is the right degree? The right degree is the following. He goes, if you find a guide, this is what you should be, this is the thought process that's supposed to be in your heart, that I will not find with my effort someone more benefiting for myself than this person, and that should be the thought process that one's supposed to be having. What you're experiencing is because of the love that you have for the teacher, which is fine, but the right way to approach it is this way, that I will not find somebody who's with my own effort, that's somebody who's going to be more benefiting for myself, and that should be your etiqad, that should be your aqidah in regards to your teacher, and that way you will benefit from him. You understand that now? You didn't? So technically, obviously, a teacher and a student have a very close bond, have a very close relationship. So sometimes due to excessive love, the student might not want to benefit from anybody else, right? Because everything that he finds from his teacher. So if it's due to excessive love, that's fine. But the proper thought process in regards to one's teacher should be the following, that if I was to try to find somebody in this line to benefit me in the manner that he benefits me, it'd be very difficult for me to find somebody, and I will not find somebody more benefiting to myself than my teacher, because he's already benefiting me. You get it? That should be the thought process. You get it now?
Well, my question though is, even though you have love for your teacher, what I'm thinking here is one teacher give you everything that you need? I mean,
in the specific field we're talking about.
Different from teacher to teacher, I think.
Yeah. So that's a good question. So will one teacher suffice you in everything that you need? No, not in fiqh, not in aqidah, not in all the other aspects, but in this line, yes.
Okay.
Right, in the line of tazkiyah, yes, but in the other lines, no. Next question. So he goes, the next question is a very, he goes, whenever I find I'm doing some adhkar dhikr, I usually think of my teacher, and I find it to be very benefiting because it increases my humility and increases my khushu and khudu in regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Answer. He gives a long answer in this. He goes, to think about one's teacher specifically in salat is against the teachings of the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in some cases, it could be super harmful, extremely harmful. But if the thought of your one's teacher comes into your heart without intending it, without making the intention for it, um, in salat, then even in that situation, one should repel that thought from one's heart, specifically in salat, especially in salat. And then he should just focus on his, and then he should just focus oneself and his attention towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, even after repelling that the thought, and you didn't bring that thought in yourself, if the state still remains, then it is not a problem. If even after repelling and trying to push that thought to one side, if the thought still remains, it's not a problem. Actually, it might be praiseworthy. And a person should think of it as a ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be grateful. And he should not think of it that in like other thoughts are wajibul dafa, that other thoughts that come into the heart when a person is offering salat or he's remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that a person removes them and he focuses his attention in removing them, and it is wajib for him to remove them. He should not think that it is wajib for him to remove this thought. Because there's a difference between a thought, a scruple that is mani'an in Allah. Mani'an Allah means that it prevents you from the remembrance of Allah, rather than a thought that mawsul ila Allah, that actually takes you towards the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a difference. So if the thought is mawsul ila Allah, it takes you towards increases you in your remembrance of Allah, then it is praiseworthy. If it is mani'an Allah, that if it prevents you from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it is blameworthy. If you still haven't understood, then write to me again. I will further explain. This is what the teacher wrote. Did we understand that? What did we understand?
Like you said, just the act of not the act, but the thought of a personality in salah inherently is not always bad if that person is seen as, like, if it doesn't detract from your khushu', if it's not distracting you from remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay. All right. I can take that as an answer. So anything else? Anybody want to add on?
My question though is not about thinking about the teacher, because as you said that, you know, we lead you to remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the other thought that you're fighting over sometime over and over again, is there a method to really fight it for like once and then just focus on Allah? Because, you know,
yeah, so
different type of thought.
so actually in salat, he's not recommending this in salat. He's saying that in salat a person should be focused towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in other adhkar, if you are remembering, if you were to remember your teacher, and that thought eventually propels you and it triggers you to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala better or more, then it's fine. Your person shouldn't busy himself in trying to repel it. That's all he's saying. Otherwise, he should just let the thought be, and just eventually his focus will be go towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anyway.
Maybe I didn't explain this.
Oh, okay.
My question is not about the student question.
Oh.
I understood that.
Okay.
My question is around the other thought, not thinking about one's teacher, but the other thought that comes to you.
Oh, the other thoughts.
Yes.
So those you have to repel.
You don't?
You do.
Okay.
You do.
You have to repel.
Yeah, the other thoughts that come into our hearts in regards to the dunya, we have like waswasa, like scruple.
Yeah, you have
then
to
we have to repel them.
So sometimes.
Or is there a way just to like do it once and forget about it?
You know, sometimes it's a challenge depending on your situation, you know.
So the question is there a way to just to, there is.
Okay.
If you fully focus upon what you're reciting and the translation and focusing your the heart is directed towards Allah at all times, then the scruple won't come. But to maintain that, maintaining that altitude is difficult. It takes practice. By the way, muraqabah gives you that practice to maintain that altitude.
So maybe dua also.
Dua.
Maybe ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So actually, it's before salat. If you're gonna remember it, so there's prelude to salat, right? So a person first analyzes himself: am I pure? So he comes to this conclusion: I'm pure. Are my clothes pure? My clothes are also pure. Do I have wudu? I have wudu. We were taught that before the imam stands on the musalla, he should also stand with his right foot, again consciously thinking of placing his right foot forward. And then before he's saying Allahu Akbar, he's in his heart he's saying Inni wajjahtu wajhiya lilladhi fatara as-samawati wal arda hanifan wa ma ana minal mushrikeen. So if you go through the process and you trigger yourself correctly, so you're triggering yourself on each. By the way, your wudu is a trigger. Sunnah is a trigger also. That's why those sunnah prayers that go before a fard prayer, they actually set you up in the right spiritual framework in order to take full benefit from the fard prayer, right? That's why there is no fard prayer that is not preceded, except the Maghrib prayer, that is not preceded without a sunnah prayer, right? Because it sets you up, it puts you in the right frame of mind, in khushu and khudu, and you already turn towards Allah, rather than a person who's just like straight from, he's just switched off his computer, his mind is still racing, and he goes straight into the salat, half of his mind is still on the computer, right? By the time he says Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, it is the fourth rakah, right? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So like he realizes that it's so by the time you get that khushu, the salat is over. So you have to trigger yourself to get to that state, to maintain that. Yes. Okay. So the khulasa is those thoughts, those wasawis that are mani', meaning that prevent you, they're blameworthy. Those thoughts that propel you forward are praiseworthy. Right? Okay. How to the proper way on entering a silsila. He says that I went and he's writing this letter to Maulana Shafai Thani Rahmatullahi Alayhi, that I started visiting the gathering and the sitting of a certain sheikh. I visited there for a while, but it seems that the halaqas have taken a very fragile turn. It goes inspiration, which is called kashf. It is thought of as something that is incumbent, that people should have kashf and the sheikh should have kashf. And upon the kashf, upon the inspiration, upon divine inspiration, if they're being the recipient of it, orders are being commands are being commanded to the students upon kashf, because I had this kashf and this is your new order, like that. And then not just that, each person is asked at what they saw and what they experienced. And now they have even started the cursing the ulama of Deoband, of India, etc., etc. So he goes on to explain what is happening in those And then he goes, there are people who are attached to the sheikh and who do not pray salat. And when there are reference, they say, this person is a great guy. He just has one problem. He just doesn't pray. He just has one problem. He only has one fault. He just doesn't pray. So after looking at all these ill practices, I decided to put myself to one side, and I have stopped going to these type of halaqas. Please guide me as to what should I do from this point onwards. And please accept, now he's saying, can you please accept me in your, I want to become your student. Answer. He goes, in the first time that you took a bay'ah and you took to a teacher, you were hasty. And now you are regretting your decision. So he goes, there's no need to be hasty a second time. No need to be hasty a second time. It is inappropriate that a person be hasty in these things. The best way is the following: that if you want to take a teacher, then stay in his company or observe him for a month or two. And then if your heart is satisfied and at peace, then you should put forward a request to become his student. If at the time of presenting your request, the other person's heart, meaning your teacher's heart, is also accepting of your request, then he will accept it. And if he doesn't want to accept your request, then he will say no. If he says no, then you should stay there, prolong your stay there with him, and then after a few days, put forward your request again. Because if you put forward your request in this manner, there is a hope that it will not be rejected. And then if you take a bay'ah if you take a teacher in this manner, then you will also enjoy its benefits. And to follow what other people say and what other people praise of others is incorrect. Did you understand the question and the answer? Not the answer.
Especially the second part of his question, where he mentioned the fact that the halakha, and then later on we find out that some people don't normally come to the halakha, and they are part of the halakha, or they have been part of the halakha. But the one thing that everybody says or says about them is that they don't pray. I was suspecting that the Sheikh is going to make a commentary on that.
So he said that he already withdrew himself from those halakas.
Yeah.
So he's not visiting these halakas anymore. So he already withdrew himself, and the Sheikh didn't need to elaborate any further on that. He already understood that it was wrong. Yeah. But he did mention one thing, that you shouldn't be hasty in taking a teacher. You were hasty the first time. Don't make the same haste. Don't be hasty the second time.
Well, my question is, around when you see something going on, you know almost for sure that this is not right. Because saying he's a great guy, but he just doesn't pray. That's not an appropriate commentary.
You'd be surprised, Brother Ali. You would be surprised that there are people who is still accepted in certain circles today. Yes.
Now,
but for example, for you it might be common sense, right? But for the other person it might not be.
yes. My question though is, being a Muslim, we are asked to encourage what is good and prohibit what is bad. Maybe he doesn't have the power to make those people understand or change, but probably he can find somebody else a mean to rectify them and put them on the straight path.
Well, that was secondary. It's not been mentioned here.
Okay.
And nor is not the question, the person who asked the question his question was not how shall we benefit them or how shall we assist them. That wasn't the question. So because it wasn't part of the question, he didn't make it part of the answer. But these type of halaqas are still around. These type of halaqas are still around. Yes.
I always ask you about this. There's like, maybe we don't experience it here, but in a lot of times I think in Muslim
But it's here too.
Yeah, but in Muslim countries, it's like people are attending these types of halaqas, but it's normal for the majority of them to not pray.
Correct. I mean, in other countries, it's even more widespread. Yes. State. He goes, anybody that seems to be affiliated or connected to me, I'm quite strict on them. And he's writing this letter. I am steadfast upon my routine, but my state is very different. I fight with everybody in the house. I fight with my spouse. I fight with my children. I'm over burdening. I get over angry. I lose my temper very, very quickly. My patience wears very, very thin. To such an extent that the people in the household are upset with me. Even my father seems to be upset with me, and they think that I'm crazy, or I'm just, I'm just too overbearing. I have many enemies in the village, and sometimes I feel that maybe somebody has bewitched me, that I am acting in this way with my family, that I'm fighting. Even those people who are my well-wishers, I'm fighting with them also. Because currently I am not living at home. I am at work, and I'm traveling for work, and I'm teaching at a madrasa. And being away from home seems to be, I seem to be much more relaxed staying away from home rather than being at home. He goes, first of all, this state that you mentioned, that you're constantly asking people that this is haram, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong in home, because it's not your position to do that. It's really, a position of a nurturer to do that. And to nurture somebody to a position is different than trying to say that this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. And constantly being on their backs like that is going to be difficult. It's really, you have to nurture them to that point. Because you personally are not on that level yet, that you can keep others and beneath your guardianship, and you can watch over them, because your patience is, you need patience for that. And nor is it appropriate for you to fight people and to engage people in useless debates in regard to matters of deen. If your heart is at peace at the madrasa, spend more time at the madrasa. Don't go home. And then if you do not, if you are unable, so his other question was, I'm unable to fulfill my ma'mulat while studying and also teaching to teach in the madrasa, in school, that I have to sometimes split my muraqabah ma'mulat up, that I'm doing a certain few minutes here, few minutes there. I'm splitting my duties of remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala throughout the day. Is that appropriate to split them? And he says that it is appropriate for you to split your ma'mulat during the day if that's what is needed. What did you understand? What was the question? Sorry.
Answer the answer.
You got the answer?
Being the rule at the family.
So he's actually causing chaos in the home. It's not just normal. He's actually chaos, right? There's turbulence inside. So Sheikh is advising him that, listen, you can't cause turbulence like that. It's really the job of a nurturer to do that. So there's a difference between a person who's doing amar bil ma'ruf and nahyan al munkar, and there's a difference between a murabbi and nurturer. Nahyan al ma'ruf and amar bil ma'ruf and nahyan al munkar is necessary upon each person, but obviously there's wisdom. There's the wisdom that has to be attached to it. Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal maw'izati al hasana. And if you are unable to do that, but you are a volcano all the time in the house, nobody's going to listen to you. Nobody's going to listen to you. So until that state doesn't pass, better for you to stay away currently. Did you get it then? A bit. Is that?
And
Which one?
until the state passes.
Meaning that you're currently going through this state where you're getting angry upon everybody in the household. So until that, if you don't control yourself, you're gonna eventually break up the entire household. Your wife is not going to be wanting to live with you. Your children want to run away from you. So rather than that happen, you seem to be at peace where you're currently working. Stay there for now until this condition of yours is not fixed. Otherwise, you're going to blow up your own house. Not literally. Not literally. Just have to mention that disclaimer. Did you get it, Kevin?
Maybe I missed the antidote. Maybe I missed the antidote. That it seems to me like the vocational is at the same time not only presenting his current circumstance, but he's also seeking solutions to the current circumstance. And it seems to me like the Sheikh in his response is telling him, okay, hold your horses, calm down, and get out of that environment, which is...
He was already out of it.
Yeah, okay, but he said, stay out of the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So he's setting him up with a platform whereby if you apply the medicine, it will work.
Right.
But then I'm waiting for that antidote. I didn't get it. What is the medicine for? How can he...
So he said that this is a job of a nurturer, and you're not there yet.
So my question would be...
So you continue doing your exercises.
In order to take care of the circumstance in the home. So how can we be in it?
So eventually staying away from home, doing his ma'mulat, contemplation, all that coupled together with the guidance of the teacher, eventually he'll be able to control himself. You get it? And remember, the question and the answer, in my opinion, is the teacher knows him well for him to advise that. Secondly, I think the teacher is trying to save him from a bigger evil. He's saying that something disastrous is going to happen if he continues to stay at home or goes home. You stay here for now and fix yourself, and then eventually you can go home. You understand? All right.
The situation is that with the volcano burning in him, staying more to the house will just add more fuel.
We'll add more fuel to the fire.
And taking out that will easily kind of condition the momentum.
By the way, this is not a unique state. There are many men who are unable to control their tempers in the home. Many men who are unable to control, like, if something is wrong in the house, how to rectify it, how to fix it, how to nurture it to a point is difficult, right? Next question, because I have read in Dalail al-Khairat that Rabbana Atina, in the benefits and the fadail of it, I want you to seek, I'm seeking permission for you to recite Rabbana Atina, so that my dunya be rectified and my akhirah be rectified. Because if things are done according to the wishes of ulama, then, and according to those people who are close to Allah, there's barakat in it. There's barakah and there's blessings in it. I continuously recite this, which is not void of any reward. But a person shouldn't use a prescription himself. He should use it with the direction of his teacher. He himself is saying all of this. Before he answers, I can probably guess what the answer is going to be. He goes, answer. Because all the reasons that you have mentioned as to why a person should seek permission for a prescription are dot on, they're perfect. You're right. But the method that you have utilized in asking this is completely incorrect. You have selected the prescription yourself, and you are asking me to rubber stamp it. You've done the selection yourself. But the right way is that you should present your state before a person upon whom you have trust, and then you should submit yourself before that person that whatever prescription he is going to prescribe, I will act upon it, and I will use it. But I do not find you asking me, you presenting your state, nor do I that I could have analyzed and prescribe something accordingly. I didn't find that. Please write to me again with, if you want me to give you an opinion on this issue, and if you want to seek permission, then on this prescription, please write to me what your current state is. You get it? It's just like somebody saying, can I read this 1,000 times? Can I do this 1,000 times? Can I do this 100 times? Like that. That's it. You understand it?
I do understand, but he put me in thinking now. Let's say that somebody wanna say certain names a certain time. We have sheikhs. We also have people, on YouTube and social media that will post, when they do on like for instance, every Friday when they do they pray Jummah, the khutbah, they broadcast it on different platforms that you listen to, and the imam there is saying, repeating this name this amount of time to give you this paragraph, this is this. Would following that be correct, or you have to get it from a sheikh?
No, you have to get it from your teacher. So it's just like, have you ever seen these, small clips and YouTube videos where saying, if you eat this, and if you do this, if you do this, it's going to benefit your health. And if you take this herbal medicine, it's going to benefit you, it's going to give you this. But then at the end says, we're not a doctor, disclaimer that you should go and consult your doctor. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. The only thing is, because it's spiritual, there's no disclaimer there. Over there, because it's physical, it can affect you physically, there's a disclaimer there. Khair, Jazakallah khair. Any questions before we do some muraqabah? Inshallah?
I have a question regarding this.
Okay.
Question about this actual prohibited time for the zawal.
Shall I answer the question in Laurel? Yeah, here, right?
Yeah.
What's the question?
The question is zawal time.
Actual prohibited time for the praying any salah.
Sunrise. The moment the sun is rising. No salah.
No, that's how you understand the zawal time. In the
Zawal
Dhuhr,
time.
the Dhuhr.
So usually if you wanted to get the exact zawal time, it's when the shadow of an object stops moving, right? It stops moving and then it starts moving. Now, in some countries, that's 20 minutes. Some countries, that's 12 minutes. Here, we have about 12 minutes, approximately. Okay. But here we have the clock.
Yeah, that's why I was here on the previous Juma at 11:35. It was showing prohibited. The time was to her was 12:08. That's why I was confused.
Unless it's not been set right. Allah
Yeah.
Alam.
That's why.
Yeah.
I was here at 11:35. I wanted to praise.
That'd be a bit too much. Meaning that's too long, maybe. For the
Yeah,
zawal
25
time.
minutes plus 8. It was 33 minutes.
So maybe it's not set up right. But I do remember that I came in for Juma.
And you stopped someone. I saw that.
I because it was zawal time.
It wasn't actually.
It wasn't?
It wasn't actually. So
You should have told me.
you came at 11:47. So and you stopped a couple of people, don't pray. So the time was 12:08. That was I was confused. How was the duration?
So that
was because they were trying to pray the Sunnah, and the Sheikh was saying, I want the adhan is given, then you can pray the Sunnah.
I understand
Don't
that.
pray the Sunnah at the beginning of
I wanted to pray.
No, actually, I actually thought it was zawal time because of it was written there. I actually thought it was zawal time. So then this clock might not be set up right. Jazakallah khair. Let's do muraqabah, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Oh, برحمتك يا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.